Hello and welcome to the finals of the Clan Viki 4v4 Cup. Yeah, we're here and it's happening. Northshire is the map. It is a fantastic map. It got taken out of the latest ladder reset because they did a ladder reset a while ago. You might have remembered for, you know, the random team ladder. And this was one of them, and I was very happy to see it because it's such a kind of weird, funky map with potential for, you know, creeping up the golems that I think hide in this creep camp here behind the trees. There's some strange stuff you can do on this map, as well as the sort of like middle where you can interact with your opponents and take further expansions. It got taken off the ladder. I wasn't happy about it because they decided to revert back to all the other previous maps that they had before they made the ladder reset changes, because essentially people complained that all the new maps they put in, or most of them, didn't make much sense, and they were right. Most of them didn't. So instead of sort of going, you know what, okay, well, what I thought they were going to do is like say, you know what, let's go back to the draw board and work out which maps are good and which maps aren't, and then ladder reset again. And we haven't heard from Blizzard since. So yeah, good times. Maybe one day they'll come back. Come back, Blizzard. Warcraft 3 needs you. But until that day, we don't know. So we've finally got some good colours here. Teal, Team Teal versus Team Grey, otherwise known as, well, Halal should be a tourist attraction, I believe, because that would be yours as well. Nafout and Look Around Hawk. So Grey are tourist attraction versus Team no, not Green Bam, sorry, Emperor Free. Team Emperor Free. Good game. Are you Abfer, Happy, and Sokol? So whilst it's quiet, I did do a little bit of Photoshop, so I'm just going to do that now. So Emperor plus Free is teal. It's fortunate because one of the colours I already got set up here is actually teal. So, and their first is tourist attraction, which are grey. So I'm just gonna set that up for you.
Players' forces are under attack.
Players' forces are under attack. Well, give me a second whilst I save this. I'm trying to do a little outlay for you guys. I'm gonna have to do it at the start of each game because that's just the nature of how this works. I don't know what colours we're going to get before the game starts, so it's something I have to do on the fly. I'm not used to doing this. So I've got the camera in a good angle, because technically I've blocked it up. Alright, final. Save that. You're going to see a giant final come up now, and I'm hoping I can make this work. So creeping going on there from your cheeky human Adver. Makes sense. He normally likes to creep out the mercenary camp first, and then he'll move on to the other. Picking up the assassin, which is a good idea. Very aggressive Sokol over here. Does actually pick off a head on him, mate. Even get a second one? No, he doesn't choose to go that greedy. Fair enough. Priest of the Moon Harass over here. Okay, so let me add on an image, and let's see if we can get this to work.
Players' forces are under attack.
Edit. Final. Get ready. Boom. Okay. So we move that to like... Where do you prefer it? Up here or something? Doesn't need to be too large, but large enough for you to be able to read it. Top right, I think, maybe keeps it out of the way. Or I can just put it underneath me. Because you don't really need... Well, I suppose that blocks a little bit, doesn't it? Dagnabbit. I'm struggling. How about there? Something like that. That looks alright, doesn't it? Can you still see items? Yeah, you can still see the items. That works. Okay, we'll stick with that. Do. Come out of that. Emperor plus 3, which is teal. I hope I have got that right. Versus tourist attraction, which is grey. Sweet. Right, I can now actually concentrate on what the hell is going on. At least a bit more. It's a difficult... Well, it's not that difficult map. It's quite straightforward in a lot of ways, but it has funky creeps and lots of creeps basically to build up on. And you've got these really powerful red creep camps, which are kind of doable because the Renegade Wizard isn't exactly the highest health unit, and he probably drops a pretty nice item. It's been a while since I've played this map. Ring of Protection plus 2. I don't think anyone's in a rush to try to pick that up. Assassin's being picked up for all the human players, though. Very valuable unit. As I mentioned earlier, is that another assassin? There is. Well, what point the mass assassins start to just become mercs. And will that Huntress be able to finish it? Yes. Okay. And the Priest of the Moon going down there. Nice little engagement. Looks like Hawk's expansion is the one that's going to get some pressure. But he is around to sort of help defend first, is it? Lightning Shield trying to pick off. Maybe? No! Oh. Adver, nice!
A player's forces are under attack.
That last lightning shield was so critical because he got blocked off with his archmage. Okay, he did manage to make something out of that. Not too bad, not too bad. So we got lots of huntresses. They're on the prowl. We've got more expansions potential. Halal wanted to take that up, and Suckle playing as the very aggressive orc. I assume he's got pillage. No, he probably doesn't, but let's keep an eye. Nah, he doesn't have pillage. His gold count would have gone into funky numbers. Even though 19 and 29 is pretty funky, that's because he obviously had to repair just for a moment there. So, this is... yeah, the assassin keeping an eye out for anything coming in. What the assassin does, by the way, in case you weren't curious, is... Well, in case you were curious, rather. If you weren't curious, then I won't tell you. But I assume you are curious. He has the ability Envenomed... no, he basically has poisoned blades, something like that. It's like the Wyvern attack, basically. And what that does... Mana Stone, really nice item there for Death Knight, by the way. What that does is that applies a poison debuff to a unit. So it's poison, essentially. And it takes damage over time. How much it is over time, I can't tell you for sure. But it's worth trying to spread that on each and every single enemy unit that you can to min-max the amount of damage that you're actually outputting. That won't always work though. You might just still be better off focusing down a certain unit. It just comes down to how well you can concentrate on it. But he's actually potentially able to put out a lot of damage for a unit you can get really early on. Very good hide there from Suckle. But the owl comes out from yours and says no. I love it. That was great. Yep. He can also... Oh, really? Okay, someone else is logged on and pretended to be that account. Great. So, that's great. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate that. Well, there's only really one person. I wonder who that is. Okay, not really though. I think it's pretty obvious. So, got nice another attack over here. Hawk is deciding to defend as well. And it looks like an awesome defend because he's going to get 3 huntresses for it. Cost him a TP, but that's a lot of experience and also going to dwindle much of the army. Level 4 Death Knight already so early on into the game. Pendant of Energy plus that Mana Stone means a lot of coils for you. Adver going to be building up his expansion. Well, his expansion's expansion, I suppose. He's got 2 of them coming up here because Good Game RU doesn't need one apparently. So there's quite a lot of potential expansions here. Particularly in the middle as well, but whether any player is going to be brave enough to take them on. The Bandit Lord is the one I forgot about. He is hidden, but you can just kind of ignore him. Go for the big lad. He doesn't drop the item, so I was wrong about that. It's been a while since I've done this, but this isn't that hard a creep camp, particularly if you are undead with those fiends. And the statue as well, support. Not really much damages you. Nice use of the Rod of Necromancy being dropped off there to help get some more. Swap them over to another item. It resets the cooldown. Well, it doesn't quite reset the cooldown, but the hero has a separate cooldown on that item, so you can effectively get 2 lots of them. Headhunters having such a rough time. I wonder if that's really going to pay off in the long run for Halal there. Just trying to get those headhunters to work, because I've just been seeing them get picked off so much this game, and I just wondered if he can get to that critical mass, which he's trying. Double barracks, obviously the Tauren Chieftain, so this could be a solo Tauren Chieftain game. In Spirit Lodge support, I assume there'll be a bestiary at some point. So yeah, the headhunters, they have a struggle in time at the early game stage, but later on they really start to pull their weight as they become one of the best, if not potentially the best, 2-food unit. Fully upgraded into Troll Berserker with maximum upgrades, they can just do crazy amounts of damage. That's a nasty lightning shield to be placed on that. That's pretty well done there from the wizard. Well done, wizard. Well done. Going straight for that Book of the Dead and Tome of Experience on the Death Knight that's already pretty powerful enough as it is. We're going to get to level 5 with this guy soon, and then that's going to be level 3 Death Coils. He's chucking out left, right and centre with that Pendant of Energy and Mana Stone. So this is a guy to really keep your eye on. He's got a lot of potential to sort of like sway mid to early-ish game battles. with those level 3 death coils, even late game battles, but obviously as the units get more and more advanced, the less vulnerable they'll be to those death coils one-shotting them. Look around. Nice use of the mercs here, using that Forest Troll High Priest. That's a level 4 version. That's not to be mistaken with the earlier one. He's much more powerful, this one. He's got a bit more sort of stability to him. Less likely to be picked off. Still kind of vulnerable with 450 health, but more respectable and more capable. Are you going to attack an undead base? You should never attack an undead base. He's only really being chased around though. And there goes those death coils. There's going to be so many free kills with that. Crypt Lord is out. The third hero, the combination. Where's the town portal? Is it to the top? Yes, it is. What a town portal. This is really kicking off now. The Berserkers are in. Halal is ready to make them work. He just needs to start throwing some upgrades on those bad boys. Not before upgrading these burrows. Yeah, he's been getting a lot of harass this game. Not just from Sokol. So he's been doing his best to defend. There's a lot of stuff going on this map. So many engagements all over the place. I think I'm going back to the old T. So there's one drive being picked off there. We've got Nefaut about to engage versus Happy. Undead versus Happy. Undead. I just said Happy again because I was just getting excited for the web that might have gone off on the destroyer there. But it does look like Nefaut isn't interested in... No, now the turnaround is coming. Oh, but they're not quite sure. They still want to creep as much as possible whilst keeping an eye on the enemy. That's something you're going to have to deal with. So the army is coming in here. The Dryads are pretty good response to this, but will the Wisps be enough to keep yours' base alive? There's only one ensnare, and that's going to not last for long if that raider goes down. And the town portal is in effect. So little poke here and there. Nothing too devastating. Was he just... I think he was hitting his own thing there, unfortunately. I think so. I don't want to say, though. You make your own minds up about that. You make your own decision. Okay. We've got enough out. I haven't actually done a straw poll for who's going to win this one, actually. So we'll have to see. Okay. Huge ranged army here, though, for the Team Grey. That's the TouristAttraction. I think they will do well in this. Just depends what Happy can bring to the team. Looks like some statues upgrading into some destroyers for some extra DPS versus the headhunters, which are slightly out of position. Does look like skeleton warriors, the Book of Dead being utilized. Halal with the very useful invulnerability on his Tauren Chieftain. It actually looks like it's turning around here. Griffins even coming out. Adva's got Griffins. What's going on? Tauren Chieftain has to use his town portal to get out of this situation. No easy way out. I think the slow, gradual town portal retreat for Team Grey is in effect. That turned around. Those are very even teams. And I thought, okay, TouristAttraction in a great spot here. But no. That destroyer use from Happy and the skeletons, which couldn't be counted at the time, just sort of added up a little bit extra to help them sort of put that threat on the board. And it does look not good for look around. Who's got level 5 Archmage, which is really good actually. But his level 1 Mountain King might get picked off if he's not careful. He's got to be really careful with that. Oh, this is going to be a town portal defense. This is where they turn it around. So even though Teal did really well there, I don't think they're going to do so good in this engagement. I'll be surprised if they do, because they are in enemy territory versus a whole arc of defending ranged units. I'm not sure entirely. They look like they're committed to the cause though, but I don't know they should stay here too much longer. Even Fairy Dragons are putting down some hatred onto those auto-casting units. Yep, it does look like Team Teal has to get out. You can't really... Yep, they were forced into that. I understand exactly what happened there. They went a little bit too far on the chase. Then the guys teleported in smartly before they could get out of the position, and then they were kind of forced into a fight. So... yeah, poked a little bit too hard there. And it's difficult because what else can you poke apart from the expansions, which are all sort of connected to the main bases here? Having said that, there's one up here, but you won't normally see expansions on the mainland, which is really the only easy expansion to take on. Alright, the game's going to calm down for a moment as each player decides to take it out on their own units. from the stress of the game and regroup and collect their thoughts before going into the next engagement. With a couple of Witch Doctors out of position in this base, it's going to be 3 easy kills for Happy. Very happy indeed with that. That was not what... Yeah, this is a rough game indeed for Halal. He's still doing okay. He's not doing terrible, but he's having a rough time. I think the invulnerability potion on the Tauren Chieftain earlier was a lifesaver really for his team. If his Tauren Chieftain went out straight away or was forced to town portal so early into that, that would have been much worse. But here we have a neat engagement. Fairy Dragons from yours placing down a lot of threat onto those statues at the back there, making them fairly redundant. But the Gyrocopters from Hawk, whose look around, is going to put even more threat onto these statues slash destroyers. Yep. So Grey pushing back Teal. Teal does have, Happy does have a town portal here, which is just as well. He's double checking. There's no expansion actually crept here. Does look around. Hawk is thinking about engagement, but 6 Gyrocopters isn't the largest force in the world. Does he want to go for it with the support from Halal? He definitely will go for it now. Whether they'll get any kills, I doubt it. Bit of damage on the statue. Some harass down here. A bunch of griffins. A lot of griffins, actually. That's a respectable amount. 90 food here from Adva. A teleport response from Hawk. The Gyrocopters, will they be enough versus that? Hippogriffs will definitely help from yours here, alongside the Dryads versus the Griffins, because the Griffins are very, very powerful indeed, and they do need a proper response. So the Hippogriffs, Dryads, and the Gyros combined might be enough. That was a nice Nova. Just trying to soften up these Griffins as best as possible whilst not truly engaging, to try to make it easier to pick them off as the frickin' Hippos come in here, forcing a town portal from Good Game RU. But Adva, yep, he's out now. Still 98 food. That double expansion that he took early on looks like it's paying off. But will those Griffins really pay off? That's the thing. All that, you know, those resources spent into those Griffins, will they be worth it versus the upcoming battles? Right now, all players starting to congregate in the middle.
The players' forces are under attack. The town is under siege.
Anything can happen at this stage. With that many statues, I understand the teleport. Destroyers can do so much to statues like that. Okay, this is... I don't think I even done that straw poll yet, and I can't really get to it because there's just so much going on the map. Yeah, you take that, Dryad. The peasants are fighting back. The Dryads are trying to attract them with their mating call. I'm so wasted. It's working. And the peasants are paying the price for it. No, that wasn't Sexy Time's voice I just used there. That was the Dryad voice. Spot on voicing acting there for the Dryad. To be fair, I am a guy, so it's not the easiest voice act to do. Well, Good Game RU's found a new home. Looks like it's Hawk's main base. Yep. Didn't need that, did you, Hawk? Ah, the Gyrocopters are getting countered by the Griffins, because the Gyrocopters have heavy armor. Griffins do magic damage. Magic damage does extra damage to heavy armor. So if the Gyrocopters are in small numbers, the Griffins will actually counter them. Halal is an Arabic word, yeah. I'm taking the mick a little bit with it. I'm only being a little bit silly. I can call him Halal, but his name is basically Halalala, so it's kind of ridiculous. Look, HLA, HLA, HLA. So I guess I call him HLA, but then that's 3 freaking things I have to say. Okay, what's teleporting in here? Ooh, hippos with the Dryads. Oh, no, I don't think that Kodo actually managed to get the chomp off, did it? Happy coming into
Players' forces
undead.
are under attack.
Oh, he's going to be undead versus undead in a second. So many destroyers. So it's interesting to see how these teams favour the destroyers over the frostworms, which makes sense because they're magic immune. So it gives them a bit more, you know, flexibility in the grand scheme versus giant armies. So, and obviously the fact that they counter, Yeah, I kind of understand it, because in 4 versus 4 random team, when you're just playing true randoms, you're more inclined to go Frostworms because there's less coordination and less likeliness that your enemies are going to go strong caster units. Whereas in these arranged style 4 versus 4 RT custom games that we're playing right now, this tournament, which I hope you guys are enjoying right now. Thanks very much to Clan Viki for making it happen. Sweet. And all the guys at War Free Arena, the admins, over admire. Quite a few people helped to make this happen, as well as you guys helping support the Fund Me campaign to make these players get their just rewards in a giant battle like this. I'm just going to keep the camera. What the hell can I say to this? I hope that you can see something that's going on right now, because I am trying my best to just... What the hell? Should I just not even say anything? Just craziness. It's not good when you're having to town portal to your own base just to get your units slightly out of position. I think this looks really good for TouristAttraction then. Although it's not a guaranteed thing, but the level 6 Archmage and the huge arc that they've got pushing forward here. Even the War Stomp coming on there from HLA. I said it. Managing to get the Panda stuck and take him down. No! Yours with the freaking Starfall. That is a secured deal. Is there a stun? No. There it is. Slight opposition. HLA says, Princess of the Moon, die please. Yours says, no thank you. Invulnerability please, keep me alive. Okay, so this isn't easy to finish for TouristAttraction, but they're in the spot to do it. There's still units, there's still heroes left, but this is one hell of a battle, and it's still going on. Those Fairy Dragons have been actually really good from yours. I think they've actually made a lot of difference in this fight, as well as multiple fights beforehand, so they've paved their way. So you see much more sensible units being used in these kind of like tournament style games with the higher level players, where they go for more focus on ground units and more productive, efficient units that actually serve a purpose with their anti-magic and their sort of, well, ability to dispel and control casters, rather than just lazily going full-on mass Frostworms. Wow. Abva with that gold. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. The Griffins just didn't quite cut it. Interesting to see whether we'll see a different style of tactics. Of course, it depends on whatever the next map is going to be, so feel free to join me for that. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you there.